Hi there. Well, last Tuesday, the irritatingly smug Kevin Rudd and the disgustingly athletic Tony Abbott decided to face off in a debate on the Australian healthcare system. On Tuesday morning, Channels 7 and 9 geared up for their political coverage.
Rudd versus Abbott, the leaders go head-to-head in today's health debate.
This morning, the Prime Minister and opposition leader prepare to go head-to-head on health.
Good morning, Jane. So what can we expect from today's debate?
Good morning, Wendy. Well, I we can expect it to be pretty feisty.
It's being billed as an argument about trust.
Oh no! I hope they don't break up. Trust is so important. Anyway, meanwhile, over at Network 10, they prepared in a different way.
Thanks, Peter, and thanks very much, Kieran, for the Ab Circle Pro.
Thanks, Nikki.
And thank you, Nikki. Now let's check in with the latest celebrity news and gossip. Now, Reese Witherspoon used to go out with Jake Gyllenhaal. How could she possibly improve on Jake?
Well, with this guy, his name is Jim Toth. He's a Hollywood agent.
Fascinating. Well, at least veteran journalist George Negus was on hand to straighten things out.
What is it about celebs, Hollywood celebs anyway, that I'm being casual today? Look, I've got sunnies, cap and T-shirt.
Nonetheless, in the days leading up to the debate, Channel 9 flogged their worm. Figuratively.
The showdown will see the return of the Nine Network's famous worm.
I understand the worm's coming back. That's going to be interesting.
Yes, Channel 9's famous worm is going to be back for our broadcast.
100 uncommitted voters will push buttons to show approval or disapproval of what the leaders say. Tomorrow will tell if Mr Rudd's radical hospital plan is still a worm winner.
Okay, so the stage was set. The worm was ready, Tony Abbott had eaten his quiche, Kevin Rudd had gotten a scoop on the opposition.
Who chooses your times? Therese chooses mine.
But just how would the debate go?
Rudd, Abbott, the great debate.
The exchange was fairly typical. Punches were thrown from either side.
You have been health minister, frankly, for twice as long as we have been in government. You promised a new policy 2.5 years ago.
What you're going to get from the Prime Minister until the election is a series of distortions, misrepresentations and outright lies.
Rudd broke promises on not means testing.
We have no plans for further change.
Tony Abbott criticised the government and laughed in the face of bipartisanship.
But can I just go back to the future? Let's work together on how we build a system for the future, because we can rehearse these debates for the past over and over again.
Abbott made lame jokes.
And it's interesting that the Prime Minister has had some medical experience as an anaesthetist in the House of Representatives. But
they each made their points.
It's easy to criticise everything and support nothing.
Under him, nothing much will change.
And then it was all pretty much over. The nation then looked to the worm for answers.
We've got the result from our wormologists on who won, 71% to the Prime Minister and 29% to Tony Abbott.
The so-called worm overwhelmingly favoured the Prime Minister.
Well, look, that doesn't surprise me because I don't think there's been any Liberal leader who the worm has liked.
How seriously do people in political circles take the worm?
Look, I think they take it pretty seriously.
And Karen, what about those worms? What did you make of the results there?
Well, it's interesting, isn't it, Janice? The worms didn't like negativity at all.
In that case, I'll stop reading Angela's ashes to my compost pile. Still on SBS, and later that night on Insight, Jenny Brockie asked women with short hair what they thought of the debate.
I don't really honestly think Australia would have done so badly had we not had the financial stimulus. We had all this Chinese business buying all our minerals.
And Robert, I know that you were influenced last time around by Kevin Rudd making an appearance on Rove.
Kevin Rudd, when we needed him, he put his gonads on the table.
What about you, Nikki? What do you think of Tony Abbott? You quite like him, don't you?
My viewpoint on Abbott is all about, him running races and in his Speedos.
Clearly, it was a meeting of the minds. But the last word should go to this politically aware voter.
But you would vote for Joe Hockey?
Absolutely.
So if Joe Hockey was the Liberal leader, you'd vote Liberal?
I would absolutely give strong consideration to Joe Hockey.
So personality matters? Because you don't know that much about Joe Hockey either, do you?
No. Except for what I see on Sunrise or those sort of shows.
If Australia's political decisions are really based on Sunrise guests, perhaps next time we should hold a debate on education. For Variety Garrett, this has been Jeremy Moses.